an audience. Perfect. Sweet. So, Jason, tell us how you came to do a Yosemite picnic.
Oh man. Well, a huge thanks goes out to you for inspiring the idea. I'd watched the videos on the Grand Picnic and just started shopping around, kind of thinking about the spaces around me a little different. And I'd played in Yosemite chasing FKTs. And one that stood out was the Tuolumne Triple Crown, which is kind of a famous rock climbers link up, easy moderates in the Tuolumne Meadow. And the idea to add a bike ride and a swim across the iconic Tenaya Lake on the front end of that, and then on the tail end, just sort of became the obvious expression. So yeah, you start at the foot of El Cap, at the El Cap Bridge, and you bike 44 miles and about 5,200 feet, no, 6,500 feet, excuse me, of gain up to Tenaya Lake, swim across the lake at 8,100 feet, and then proceed to do Tenaya Peak, which is 5-4 slab climbing, and then run across to Mathis Crest, which is a mile of Razor Ridge with a 5-7 crux. And then you get to do Cathedral Peak, the iconic Cathedral Peak at the end of that link up, and then back down to plunge into the lake and bike back down to El Cap. It just, yeah, it was the obvious line that had to be put together.
Wow, and it did not take you guys very long, did it? How long? What was your time for that?
14 hours, 36 minutes.
14. Wow. I mean, did you hear what I mean, it's a little hard to hear what he said. I mean, he rode from Yosemite Valley, the bottom of Yosemite Valley, 40 miles up to Tuolumne Meadows, 6,500 foot gain, right? Climbed 3 technical peaks, swam Lake Tenaya, climbed 3 technical peaks, swam back across Lake Tenaya, and then rode all the way back down to El Cap in 14 hours. Unbelievable.
It's an amazing.
I actually really, yeah, that's what I think. It's like the coolest picnic that has been done outside of the Tetons, honestly. So I commend you for that. And I want you to actually tell people here what you did this summer, because I think this is actually might be the most mind-blowing thing that a mountaineer has done in this continent in quite some time. What did you do this summer?
I am honored to hear you say that. I took on what's known as the Bulger's List, a list of the 100 tallest peaks in the state of Washington. Only if you're generous with your description of a trail, only 4 of them have trails to the top. The rest are backcountry bushwhacking, and Washington is a temperate rainforest, so it's not open forest walking, it's real bushwhacking. And then glacier travel on technical glaciers with crevasses to navigate, and a lot of 5th class and chossy 4th class terrain. But yeah, managed to climb the 100 tallest peaks of the state of Washington in 50 days, 23 hours, and 43 minutes.
I actually don't know if there is a more impressive mountaineering link up that's been done in this century so far, honestly. 100 of the highest peaks in Washington in 50 days. How did you keep your body? How are you able to keep your body healthy enough to do that?
Well, I think you have to start with a really, really healthy love for the mountains. That's step one, the genuine feeling of there's no place I'd rather be. So when you're beat to hell and falling apart and you want to cry, you still can come back to, well, it's better than being anywhere else. So I think that's the start. And then, I mean, there was 6+ months of intense planning that went in on the front end, looking at it from a mountaineer's perspective, looking at it from a rock climber's perspective, looking at it from an ultra runner's perspective. I'm a coach as well, looking at the long days and the short days and how much vert and what order can I do these things to make it possible to kind of put a little periodization into the effort itself, if that's a thing that's even possible. so yeah, a bunch of moving parts, and then also trying to avoid fire season and climbing the peaks in an order that mitigated that risk, since it was the most catastrophic possibility for the whole undertaking.
That's amazing. That's, you know, that is a huge part of picnicking and these sorts of things, is the amount of preparation that goes into it and the amount of planning and logistics. And you sort of like forget that part once you're like in the mountains, but it's hugely important. Jason, you're amazing. And I'm so psyched that you were here, joined us tonight, and you had the patience to wait this long. And thanks again for being part of it and for creating such a super badass picnic.
It's absolute pleasure to have joined you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, all right.